Joining us today for this week's entertainment panel is the lovely Abby St. John. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, starting off, we want to talk about the Mean Girls movie musical that is supposed to be adapted into a major motion picture from Paramount Pictures. And the project has finally found its directors. And I don't know much about this, but what's going to be all involved in this movie musical that's going to be actually made into its own project film?
Yes, so going back to 2004 when the iconic Mean Girls movie was released and, it gained a huge following and it's kind of become a cult classic, if you will. Tina Fey wrote and produced that movie, and then after the success of it, she decided, why not turn this into a Broadway musical? So she wrote the Broadway musical for Mean Girls, and it hit Broadway in 2018, and it had over 800 shows, but it closed, unfortunately, due to COVID, and it won't be opened back up. So Tina Fey decided to bring it back to the big screen, and she's very excited about it, and she even compared the characters that she created to the MCU, and she said, "I'm very excited to bring Mean Girls back to the big screen. It's been incredibly gratifying to see how much the movie and the musical have meant to audiences. I've spent 16 years with these characters now. They are my Marvel universe, and I love them dearly." Now, the film or the musical has not been casted yet, and it's very, very unlikely that the original actors from 2004 are going to reprise their roles. However, there's still questions on whether or not there will be cameos. Lindsay Lohan has stated that she would definitely work with Tina Fey again, and she wants to work with Tina Fey again. So there's a possibility that we could see some of these returning actors. Rachel McAdams has expressed that she would love to come back to Mean Girls. So it's going to be exciting to see if we'll see those iconic characters or actors in the movie again. No one has been casted, so we don't know who's going to play the characters, and the plot is kind of under wraps as well. So we don't know too much, but we do know that Tina Fey, she's back at it writing, and maybe we'll even see her in the film as well, like we did in 2004. So I'm very excited to see how it works and what they do with it, especially since, I haven't seen the Broadway musical version, so I don't really have much to compare it to, but I'm very excited to see what it's going to look like on the big screen.
I'm excited to see it as well because, yeah, I haven't seen the Broadway musical either, but I'm excited to see what kind of songs are going to be all involved and who's going to be returning because, of course, Mean Girls is such a classic. And now switching over, there is actually going to be a movie, Halloween Kills is going to be coming out soon, and Kyle Richards is actually returning after 43 years, and that's going to be quite fascinating because you're saying that this is the second movie that's going to be in the trilogy, correct?
Yes, and in 2018, Halloween returned with Jamie Lee Curtis as the iconic Laurie, and it kind of opened up a new set of trilogies produced by Blumhouse, which is heavily known for all of the horror, a bunch of different horror movies, and this is the second installment in the trilogy, and it's called Halloween Kills. It's going to be out October 15th in theaters and on Peacock streaming service. And it starts off where the first one ended, with Michael escaping the house fire Laurie set. And, it's called Halloween Kills, so you can expect a pretty high body count throughout the entire movie. And all of his victims will lead directly to his childhood home. So that's going to be interesting because it kind of all, in all the movies, it all goes back to his childhood house. And like you said, the returning survivors from 40 years ago are returning back, and they're kind of banding together with the rest of the town to defeat Michael. Now, it's kind of obvious that his ending won't end in this film, as there will be a third one called Halloween Ends. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the second one ends. Who's kind of going to become a victim, who's not. Laurie wants to take off his masks. She says in the trailer that she wants to remove his mask to see the life leave his eyes. So it's going to be interesting to see if she, succeeds in that, and then what it's going to lead into the third and final installment. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very scary and perfect and just in time for Halloween to come around. So I'm very excited to see what's going to be expected, but definitely expect a lot of gore, a lot of slashing, a lot of blood, just a lot of, graphics like that.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that they are bringing back, the old actors and actresses from the older movies to bring them back, and after like especially 40 years for them to be in the new ones and be able to experience it all over again except older. So I'm really excited to see it, and it's really good that it's coming out in October because, of course with Halloween, it's going to make a lot of people want to do a full Halloween marathon, like movie marathon watch through, because I think that's what I'm going to plan to do soon. But that's all the time we have for this week's entertainment panel. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Abby.
Thank you.